So let's move forward to the path of the Luminous Warrior. Luminosity speaks of energy. Our aura is our luminous body, right? So when we're on the path of the Luminous Warrior, so we have those two words, luminous, luminosity, light, energy, and warrior. They might seem contrasting, right? But in shamanism, a warrior is a person who's dedicated. You're dedicated to your own awakening, your own path. It's like a fierce dedication. Like, no matter what, this is my primary objective. This is my primary commitment to myself in my life. And as that warrior, I'm choosing to be in my highest, lightest aspect of myself. So a luminous warrior ultimately is a person who speaks the truth. And this is a shamanic practice that runs through all shamanic traditions. Speaking the truth, which includes, and I think originates with speaking the truth to yourself. It's not only about being truthful with other people, it is about that. And when we do speak the truth with other people, it's best if we can do it in loving kindness and friendliness, right? But sometimes being truthful with ourselves is where the real breakthrough can come. So speaking the truth to yourself about your needs, your fulfillment, your passions, your dreams, those are the important things, because those are the things that create your reality, consciously or unconsciously. You're either consciously clear around what your needs, your passions, your goals, and your dreams are, and you're consciously aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions to create those things, or you're unconsciously ignoring them and unconsciously acting in ways that bring you out of vibrational alignment with them. So that's why speaking the truth is important. It's also connected to living in alignment with your values. Now, this is also a thing that is very prevalent in shamanism. Any of you who have read the Four Agreements? Okay, so the domestication process, our early life conditioning, our early life domestication, as he calls it, is we go through a process of reward or punishment for the first 7 to 10 or longer years in our life that conditions us to have or inherit the values of the people who are raising us, the values and beliefs. So when we grow up, sometimes we're unconsciously, usually most of the time actually, unless we wake up to it and change it, we're unconsciously living life based on those values and beliefs. And if we really believe those values and beliefs, great. But sometimes we don't, and we don't realize it, right? And so a really good practice is to become aware of what your highest values are, which might look like doing some journaling. I'm happiest when I'm doing these things. These are the qualities that I admire in other people, right? This is how I would choose to live my life if I could create the reality of my dreams. if you can write down what you value in different categories of your life, relationship, health, wellness, profession, all of that, then you'll be able to see, hey, wait, do I really value this or not? And if not, scratch it out and upgrade it. Write down what you do really value. Give yourself permission to upgrade your values. And then practice consciously living in alignment with them. Sometimes we become unhappy in life because we are accidentally compromising our highest values, right? If we have a high value of living in peace and tranquility, and we're in a toxic, turbulent environment, then we're not living in alignment with our values, right? Just as an example. And it's up to us. We are the ones that are responsible for doing that for ourselves. No one else is responsible for that, right? Okay, practicing non-violence. This is also in yoga. And it includes negative self-talk, right? So, we've all been there, done that. We've all had negative self-talk. But what we can do when it happens is cancel clear. That's what I say, cancel clear. If you notice, and this is also you practicing shifting into the role of the observer, right? So you can be the part of you that is immersed in negative self-talk, or you can witness the part of you that's doing that. If you can witness the part of you that's doing that, then you can cancel clear it and put a positive thought in its place, which includes forgiving yourself for having the negative thought to begin with, because it's not your fault. It's a condition that we inherited through what we observe in our environment, right? So practicing nonviolence means not engaging in other people's drama as well. So, and believe me, I know, easier said than done.
I think sometimes you get that addiction mentality about being a victim sometimes, where it's easier to stay the victim because that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It validates your feelings in a way.
Right.
Where it's like, see, I told you, or here it comes again, or that kind of
right
cycle is hard to break unless you, like you said, separate yourself and look from the outside in your situation.
Right, and so that's when we go into that story, it's the wounded part of us. And here's what I like to do. Instead of saying, we'll use the trigger thing. Instead of saying, I'm being triggered right now, you can say, the wounded part of me is being triggered right now.
Separate yourself.
The wounded part of me is feeling like a victim right now. Mm-hmm. That way, yes, it's not who I am, right? And I think that that's a really good practice for this type of situation when that comes up, is just shift into the observer, and the wounded part of me is feeling like a victim again. And then you can cancel clear it, right? Put a positive thought in its place. Even though the wounded part of me feels like a victim right now, I completely accept, love, and forgive myself. So.
And my yoga teacher always says it's just the story you're telling yourself.
It is.
So change your story.
Yes, change the story. That's what the Ruiz family teaches me. We are the primary characters in our own life. We're the ones that are writing the story, right? And which goes into a whole other thing about dreaming your reality, which we'll get into throughout the weekend. But so yeah, not engaging in other people's negativity as well, right? And so finding ways, a good practice would be to have a plan, right? Next time somebody's wanting to hook you into their drama, which sometimes people unconsciously do, really as a cry for help. right? They don't realize it, but on a deep level, it's a cry for help. When people are acting in anger, it's a cry for help. They don't know how to express their needs, so they revert to anger. That's what happens. So we can have compassion, which is another shamanic practice, but we don't have to engage in it. We can let the percussiveness of that ripple of anger or negativity blow through us without us hanging on to it. We can witness it rather than absorbing it. And we can have a plan where you just excuse yourself. If it's a situation where it's an intimate relationship, then a good plan is to say, let's take a time out and reconnect when we can speak from our hearts. Right? If it's a less intimate connection, a colleague, a friend, then you just excuse yourself politely, or you simply detach from your connection from that person. One of my favorites, the art of non-doing or not doing. So there's a few different aspects of this. On one aspect, it's like not pushing the river, right? Not forcing things into being, not expending your energy beating down doors that don't want to open, but letting go and going with the flow, going with the river of life, being fluid, following the path of least effort. Now, how I was originally taught the art of not doing goes back, way back to the Don Juan Carlos Castaneda teachings. That's when I started studying shamanism, was way back then. And that's about purposely changing up anything that has become too much of an ingrained habit or routine in your life. Why? Because it causes stagnation energetically, right? So the art of not doing is the practice of purposely changing things up. If you always drive the exact same way to work, go a different way. If you always wash your face and then brush your teeth, change it up. If you always go to the exact same grocery store, try a different grocery store. Make it be fun and creative. Find fun, creative ways to get fresh energy circulating in your life by being aware of things that are too habit or routine. The benefit of this is that it brings you into new circumstances. You never know when you're going to meet a new person that could become a special friend or whatever else you experience. Avoid an accident, right? So this is another spiritual practice that keeps energy alive, circulating in vibrancy, which is what we want, because we want to look at our life as being an adventure, right? Even if you believe in reincarnation, which I do believe in eternal life, so to me reincarnation makes sense in one way, shape, or form, because science tells me that energy can't be created or destroyed, it's only changed in form. To me, it makes logical, scientific sense that there's some form of reincarnation because of eternal life. Right now is where we are, right? So this life right now is what matters. This is the life that we should strive, or it's good for us to strive to gain the most of, because this is where we are now. And shamanism teaches that the only thing that we can take with us into whatever our next dimension of life is going to be is our awareness and our energy. That's the only thing we can take with us. And so one shamanic practice is to live like death could come at any moment. And that's not to be a morbid thing, but to teach us that, to inspire us to live our fullest. Because whatever awareness we gain in this life is the only thing we can take with us to the next dimension of life.